Hey, hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Ranjan and this is 7th video of Apache Spark playlist. And if you will try to search Ranjan PySpark in YouTube, you will get these 6 videos. And in my last 6 videos, I have covered what is PySpark, what is the difference between Pandas and PySpark, why we use PySpark even though we have many technologies already there, and what is RDD and what are the operations on RDD we apply. In this particular video, we will be seeing that what is dataset, what is RDD, and what is data frame. So these are three interface API, or we can say Spark API. Most of the time you will come to see that people are referring as Spark interface API. So basically these three are data storage. So we can use RDD for storage, we can use dataset, and we can use data frame. I have shown these three things in circle because these all three share some common feature. So those features are in the intersection. So first of all, when Spark was released, they have introduced RDD. That was in 2011, and it was collection of JVM object, that is Java Virtual Machine. So it was earlier it was on Scala. So first they have released RDD, and we have already seen what is RDD, how it performs and how it works, and what are the operations that we can apply on RDD. Here's the video for reference if you don't know about the RDD. Over the time, they have realized that it has some limitation. They have introduced a new data storage, which is data frame. So this data frame is not like the data frame in Pandas. It's not generic data frame. This is Spark SQL data frame. And over the time, they have realized that it has also some limitation. Then they have released a dataset in 2015. And dataset is approximately a combination of RDD and data frame. So it has both benefits, some benefits of RDD and some benefits of data frame. So they have combined into dataset. So this is the chart that I have created so that you will get a better clarity, like what are the three APIs and when to use which, in which cases I have to use which one. So first are similarities. These three are similarity. So all threes are fault tolerant. So that means like suppose I am taking example of RDD. I have RDD and I am applying some transformation on RDD. These are the transformation, and after transformation I will get a new RDD. So in case my operation, what I'm applying on this RDD goes wrong, so my data wouldn't be destroyed because it has some concept DAG, that is lineage graph. So I can get the information from the lineage and I will be able to get my RDD as it is. So it would be fault tolerant. My data won't be get destroyed at any point of time. All three are distributed because the main benefit of Spark using big data is distributed. So whatever the our data set or our storage, that would be stored in different and distributed locations, and all threes are immutable. So we cannot edit the RDD or data frame or data set. We can only create new RDD or new data frame or data set. Now the difference start from here, fourth point. So RDD has no schema. If you have seen in the previous video, there was no schema, like there was no header like structure. Suppose this is our Excel file, this is name, this is age, and I am defining some string category. Here I am defining int category. So this is a schema. I will show you. So this is a schema in which I am creating a one class which is student, and in student I am defining name would be string type, age would be int type, department would be string type, status would be string type, remark would be string type. So this would be my data. When I will store data, so I will create student A, and that would be age 17, and department would be DS, and would be status would be pass, and remark is awesome. So this is the type of the data, and if you will see, like I am storing my data in some fixed schema. I am using string only here, I'm using int here, I'm string. So this is a schema, but in RDD there was no such schema. And in data frame, schema is there, and dataset schema is there. And after that, RDD is very slow on non JVM languages. So non JVM languages are Python and R. If you will see the comparison, these are the RDD, Python and Scala difference. This is the time it is taking to aggregate 10 million integer pair. This is some benchmark. If you will see, like on the Scala, this is JVM language because it is based on Java. So it has taking this much of time. But in case of Python, this is non-JVM language. RDD is taking very long. And in case of data frame, it has taking same time and less compared to even JVM languages or non-JVM languages for RDD. It was slow. RDD was slow on Python. And data frame is faster and dataset is also faster. And in this RDD, there was no by default optimization while executing the operations. But in data frame, we have optimization, that was Catalyst Optimizer. So this Catalyst Optimizer leverages advanced programming features to build an extensible query optimizer. I will explain like how Catalyst Optimizer works, like how it is able to help in the optimization. And in this data set, it has also some optimization mechanism to just optimize the execution. And if you will see, like, I will just tell you that data frame in PySpark or in Spark is just like a table, relational database in which we have some rows and columns. So it would be like a table. And RDD is just a low level abstraction because it was at the initial level. So it is just a low level. It is just a collection of elements which are partitioned across the nodes of the cluster that can be operated on in parallel. And if you will see the data frame, it's a high level of abstraction. It is a high level abstraction of the Spark. It has many features, and dataset is also a same. It has high level. In RDD there is no SQL support. We cannot use SQL like queries on the RDD to extract the information, but in data frame it has SQL support. And if you will see, like, I have highlighted the negative points or the drawbacks of the particular API in red color. These things you are seeing in the red color, these are the drawbacks of this type. And even in dataset it supports SQL. And here comes a new thing which could be a new thing for you, that type safe. So what is type safe? So I will tell you about type safe. So type safe is a feature of any programming language which prevents the type errors. If a particular programming is a type safe, so that means compiler, you must be knowing that in programming language a compiler would be there which compiles the code you have written, and it will check for the errors. If any programming language that's type safe, so that means in that case compiler will validate all types of the variables while compiling the code, and it will throw an error if you are trying to assign a wrong type of value to the variable. Suppose you are assigning a string to the int, it will just throw a error in the compile time. So there are two times. So first is runtime and second is compile time. So compile time is the first time which comes when you are compiling the code, that your machine is checking for the syntax error, whether there is any syntax error or not. So it is just before the runtime, and runtime, that means that it is in production. So type safe means that your compiler will throw an error while compiling, and if your programming or your feature or like your dataset is a type safe, your program will never get into a stuck state. So that was the main benefit, I would say, of the RDD. But in case of data frame, that is not a type safe. Data frame was untyped. So in case of data frame, Spark check data frame type aligns to those which are in the given schema or not in the runtime, not in the compile time. It checks for the type, but it checks in the runtime, not in the compile time. But in dataset, it checks whether that type conforms to the that specification at compile time. So that was the benefit of the dataset, because if you will see, dataset is a combination of data frame and the RDD. So whatever the features or whatever the positive things that we are getting in RDD and data frame, so we have combined both things in dataset. So and the same, it was checking syntax error and the analysis error. So it was checking both error, syntax error and analysis error. Syntax error is the error that if you have incorrectly written the syntax, so that is syntax error. And analysis error is that error, like suppose you are trying to search some element in the data and that element does not exist, so it should not throw an error. It would throw an error, but it should throw an error while compile time. But in case of data frame, it will throw an runtime. So perfect example would be non-existing element. If you will search the non-existing element in data frame, it will not throw an error while at compile time, but it should throw an error at compile time, but it will throw an error at runtime. When you will write a complete code and then you will try to run it, then it will throw an error. So it was drawback of the data frame. So that got resolved in the data set. Now the important part, we can write RDD in any of the four languages. And even in case of data frame, yes, we can write in any language. But in case of data frame, we can write in Java or in Scala only. If we are using PySpark, we cannot use dataset. But in latest PySpark, they have combined some benefit of dataset into the data frame. In latest Spark version, they have created a unified data frame. So unified data frame is nothing but it's just like a combination of data frame and some features from the data set. We can't use dataset in the PySpark, but yes, we can use some features of the dataset in Unified Data Frame SQL. So we will be seeing in next video data frame Spark, data frame SQL. And important thing, we can seamlessly move between the data frame or dataset or RDD by using the simple syntax. It's just not a rocket science. We just need to write one syntax that will convert our data from RDD into data frame or data frame into RDD. Or if you are using any other language, it will convert your data and data frame into dataset or data frame into RDD. So we can seamlessly move between these storage. We have seen like, oh, what are the limitations of RDD or data frame and dataset, in which cases we have to use RDD. Like suppose we don't need schema and we don't need to use SQL and we don't need any inbuilt optimization. In that case, we can use RDD because it's a type safe and we will get the error detection at the compile time only. It is just not like that it will throw an error in the production, because it is providing us a compile time type safety, which means that production applications can be checked for the error before they are run. And one of more important thing that on RDD we are using a lambda function, but in data frame we cannot use lambda function. There is a mechanism that we can use lambda function, but that is a complicated. What we have to do, we have to convert this data frame into type data. Then we can use lambda function. So, but in case of RDD, we can use directly lambda function. So that's all in this particular video. In my upcoming videos, I will be showing you like how we will convert RDD into data frame and data frame into RDD, and same with dataset. So I will show you all these things, and in next video then we will see the machine learning in data frame, how we will apply machine learning algorithm in Spark data frame. So I hope you have enjoyed the video. If this video is informative to you, please like this video and subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed. So don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications of further videos in your inbox. So see you all in the next video. Till then, goodbye, enjoy, happy learning.